Welcome to Icon The Spot. We're not in our usual studio. We're here at Capitol Ballroom with Sanjay from Delhi to Dublin. You know how we do. Welcome, Sanjay.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good, brother. You can actually grab the mic if you want to. But I want to kind of reintroduce you guys. So can you kind of talk to us and educate the audience about who you guys are and what kind of impact you've made on Canadian music and worldwide music? Talk to us.
We're Delhi to Dublin. I'm Sanjay from Delhi to Dublin, the singer. Impact on what we've done? I don't know, man. We've been around for a while. This is 13 years in now. So we've been doing it for a while, man. Road dogs, a lot of touring. Without a lot of radio play and that sort of thing, like a lot of CBC support and that sort of thing, but nothing, it's been word of mouth and grassroots. We did it from before Instagram days, we have a Facebook following, exactly. What's that? So yeah. So, I guess we've just been around for a while. We started off in what, I don't know, if you want me here, I'll hold it. You want me to hold it?
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
We started off it was fusion. It was electronic fusion stuff, Asian underground with a very Celtic mix, and then it progressed to electronic pop, and now we're classifying ourselves as subcontinental pop now. We've really shifted into pop music and taken to the stuff that's catchy and the popness of stuff, the really good ear candy stuff, the hooks. So that's what we are. We call ourselves, it's subcontinental pop. It makes a lot of sense for us, influences of the subcontinent of India and stuff, but it's pop music.
Exactly. And speaking of India, right? I just saw that documentary where you did that whole tour. It was amazing to see. And for people who don't really understand that kind of part of life, tell us about kind of the most wild experience that you had touring India.
Okay. We've toured there 3 times with Delhi to Dublin. Yeah. I think it's 3. And I've also toured there once before the prior project. But so there's nothing that's really surprising. It's India. Anything can go. It's the most modern of places, and then it's super old school in certain ways. Yet they're progressing way faster, solar energy and stuff. They're just skipping, and it's insane. In terms of craziness, what I feel is crazy there would probably not be the same thing you would think is crazy, but it's a culture shock when you land. But if you know what it's a beautiful place, it's amazing. I think this time around it was pretty intense traveling for the first few festivals. We were in the middle of the desert in Rajasthan, where I don't know, it was the far corner, and anyway, so there's, you see camels walking around and and stuff, and that's fine because that's what you see in the sand dunes, so I'm standing in the back of our Jeep as we're going back to our huts to stay, right, from sound check. That's pretty awesome to be in the middle of a sand dune desert in the back of a Jeep, just standing there's camels and stuff, and you're playing a Shambhala style festival. It was a much smaller scale, but same sort of visuals, and it's all Indian-based music, and in the middle of a desert. That's pretty awesome. So yeah, that's a hell of an experience.
And let's talk about kind of language barriers, right? So I know that with your music, you are speaking multiple languages, English, and what is the language that you sing as well?
So I'm singing Punjabi as well.
Punjabi. Yeah. So when you're singing that, how do you see the reaction with the audience here in Canada and then out there in India? How is it received?
Initially here, I could see a lot of times we were kind of novel for the first little while, I guess. Now people know what to expect. Yeah. We still go to the States, and sometimes it's novel. Being from the West Coast, it's we couldn't have been born out of anything else except Vancouver, or the West Coast, because it makes sense here. It's the perfect place for this to grow. It's very organic. This was not something we put together because we thought this is going to be a shticky thing, And even then, over the years, we've grown to just become. We were just a band, it was Indian and Irish and all this stuff, but it's just a band, right? Over there, it's English is a national language, and they understand the Indian elements of it all. Bass music there is huge, and they love pop. So it's like down over there, and we're considered an international act when we're there, but we're, by no means do we fit in there, and we're not making the bass music. Like we have a side project called Desi Subculture, which is really more catered to a North American Western market than it would be there, because they're doing it different, and they're just doing it. It's organic to there, and their bass music is sick. Like you can't even compete with that. So I mean, it's different because when we're there, we're not novel in any way. They just get it. They understand it all. This is just a band that makes sense to them, and it's cool because that wouldn't necessarily be organic from India, but we're a West Coast band going there, and they're like, we get it, we understand. And with the side project, we've noticed like more like international students, kids who are more like fresh to arrive here and stuff. Like they get it because they're more into bass, whereas Indian kids who had come from, before, or immigrants from before, they kind of get, everyone always says you get stuck in the time when you get here. So it's like so progressive with the music over there that they understand. And here it's like, I don't even see it anymore. It's a vibe, man. You're a musician. You understand, like it's, whether I'm singing in Punjabi or English or not, it's like a vibe. Energy. Yeah, for sure.
And on top of that, like we're starting to see, Korean pop music coming to the forefront. All these different languages that people don't understand, but just feel certain energy towards. That's how it's really playing out very well for everyone. And especially when we're talking about the West Coast, this is why I love representing Victoria and Vancouver and BC, because it's all about the diversity. And Delhi to Dublin is, of course, like the epitome of diversity, right? And let's talk from apples to home. It's been a long journey. Yeah. You guys are about to release your upcoming project, Inside Pocket. Is that what it's called?
Inside Pocket is the label that we are with in association with Warner. Okay. So we're on a production deal with Inside Pocket, and then we have a licensing deal with Warner through Inside Pocket. In terms of the span of the career, like where, from apples to home, it's. Hang on. Okay, let's start again. Wait. What part? Okay, what part of that question do you want me to touch on first? Because there's a lot I could say. So how about let's talk about just the upcoming project. Okay. Are you allowed to disclose the title? Is that an exclusive? We go. Yeah. Let's go. Okay, so title of the album is we're gonna call it "We Got This." Okay. That should be the second single on the album. Might be the third. So right now that's up in the air. We got this in terms of. We just felt like it's our time. Like we got this. Like we need to band together. It's positivity. Yes. There's a theme of coming together in a real Delhi to Dublin essence in this album. And that you can actually tie that right back, that vibe right back to like our first album. Like there was a lot of stuff about unity and being one. Except I was singing it in Punjabi. Mm-hmm. It's a lot more accessible. Yes. In the way that we're presenting this next album. In terms of the song Home, I guess we're getting a little bit more real, like talking about it. It's an interesting time. Like I keep bringing up like how it's messed up. It's messed up there. It's weird, man. And we travel a lot in the States and we feel it. We see it right when things switched. We saw changes. It gave people permission to do, and say and do things that they wouldn't have done before, which means they were just hiding it before, right? So it's like, okay, it gets ugly and gross, but you need to kind of destroy to rebuild. And I think it's exciting that there is like these midterm elections, like what was it? 2 Muslims, two indigenous women, and just the amount of women that were elected. That wouldn't have happened, like it would have been like it's like stale before. So you need to like shake it up, which is unfortunate, but there's beauty in it, right? And so the song Home, we're really kind of touching on that. We are the kids of immigrants. Initially, when we first started, it was about showing what we are. Like, we sing in Punjabi, we dancing we're doing Bhangra music moves and stuff like that on stage. And it's like, okay, like, hey, look at what we're doing. As we get older and we've, longevity in the career, we kind of learn like, less is more. I don't need to beat someone over the head with it, but like, look at me, man. Like I'm providing the visual. Like, I'm a brown dude, and I'm in the music industry. You know, whether there's ceilings or not, I don't know. Hopefully there isn't. You know, I'd like to believe there isn't. Like, and whatever. Or if not, we've broken a bunch down too. But so now I'm open and happy to be like just presenting myself to be out there, so you know other kids can see that. If you can see it. You see women in power, you see brown people, you see people of color, you see LGBTQ communities. That if they're there, then it makes it normal, right? Like, it wasn't normal before. It was weird. And then again, that comes back to identity and stuff, because I'm a kid of an immigrant, like, and we all are. Delhi Dum, all of us are. And in trying to figure out who we are as we grow up and that sort of thing, like, that's weird too, you know? So I think just being out here, being present, being in the industry and doing it is showing people, like, check it out, you know, like, we're just, you know, whatever. It's not, we're averaging it out, you know? Exactly. And the song Home touches on the first line in song Home is, I am the son of an immigrant, you know, like, and we're talking about real things. Like, this is who Delhi to Dublin actually is. And we are super stoked that we can call this place home, and it would be awesome. And the ideal is to be able to call every place home, because really we should be able to, and we're allowed to. And actually, that brings up the video for Home is being released on December 10th. That is coming out on the UN's 70th anniversary of the Declaration of Human Rights, where in the Declaration it states that we as humans, that we're allowed to move to other places, which means we're allowed to move freely. Yes, there's rules and stuff, but we're allowed to do that, and we're allowed to call that place home. And you know, in the chorus is, everywhere I go, I am home, and it's really a feeling of home is where the heart is, yes. and that's, you know, wherever our heart wants to go, we should be able to go. And it's weird. It's a weird time, and it's awesome. And it's exciting to be able to write these kind of songs, you know. Sorry to mumble on there, but it's like, there's a lot. That's what I was saying. There's a lot. Yeah. And then spanning it for our career, you know, like, so, yeah.
Well, I don't want to cut us short, but you know, I got to make sure that you're prepared, you're set up for your show tonight. And I just want to say, you know, through your positivity, through this mindset, you're paving a way for everyone to follow that and to lead, to be their own leaders, right? And it's really, really inspiring to see what you guys are doing for the community, for the world, and to kind of break down those barriers. Yeah. So once again, I want to thank you, Sanjay, from Delhi to Dublin, to coming through. Yeah. You know what I mean? And as you can see, we here in Victoria, we always want to represent that positivity. So thank you for watching. Icon the Spot. Get it.
I've come so far to be